They knew the sky would burn before it ever did. They knew oceans would rise before the first wave moved. They knew cities would fall before the first stone cracked, and they wrote it all down. Then they vanished. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear was never meant to survive. You are standing at the edge of a truth so dangerous it was erased from history itself, long before modern civilization learned how to lie to itself. This story does not begin with fire or war. It begins with a whisper, buried beneath layers of forbidden stone, in a place satellites were never supposed to see. Deep beneath shifting deserts and frozen mountains, archaeologists discovered symbols that should not exist. Calendars older than any known civilization, star maps that align with catastrophes across thousands of years, floods, earthquakes, plagues, solar storms, wars, all predicted with terrifying precision. This was not prophecy. This was calculation. This was science beyond our timeline. The first civilization, called by many names in fractured myths, the first watchers, the skyborn, the children of the deep earth, a civilization that did not worship gods but studied reality itself. Their cities were not built upward but inward, spiraling into the planet like veins of a living world. Their structures fused stone with unknown alloys, harder than steel, yet older than the moon. And within those ruins, modern instruments fail. Compasses spin, electronics die. Time itself feels wrong, as if the air remembers something humanity forgot. Legends speak of giants, not monsters, but beings taller, denser, stronger, whose bones carried strange crystalline growths, suggesting they were engineered, not born. Their skulls elongated not by ritual, but by design. Their DNA, when fragments were tested, showed markers science cannot explain, non-human sequences, patterns that do not match evolution as we understand it. And these beings were not rulers, they were guardians, archivists of a knowledge meant to outlast worlds. The first civilization understood cycles not as myths, but as mathematics. They mapped the sun's violent rhythms, the Earth's shifting crust, the cosmic debris that periodically resets life on this planet. And they left warnings not in words, but in architecture. Monuments aligned to future disasters, vaults sealed to open only after specific celestial events had passed. One such vault was found accidentally when a drilling project collapsed, revealing a chamber untouched for tens of thousands of years. Inside were smooth black tablets, etched with symbols that translated not into language, but into equations. Modern scientists later realized those equations described past catastrophes, with dates matching ice ages, meteor impacts, and mass extinctions. But more chilling were the future entries, events that aligned disturbingly with our present day. Rising seas, magnetic pole shifts, artificial intelligence destabilization, global resource collapse, and a final entry left deliberately unfinished, as if they could predict everything except how it would end. And this is where the story becomes dangerous, because shortly after these discoveries, governments intervened, sites sealed, researchers silenced, papers classified, footage erased. But fragments leaked, enough to suggest that the first civilization did not disappear naturally. They chose to leave or were forced to retreat underground into hidden places still sealed beneath our feet. Places rumored to still hum with energy. Places where ancient machines still operate, powered by geothermal cores and crystal lattices that modern engineers cannot replicate. Machines designed not for war, but for survival. Arcs for knowledge, shields against extinction, devices capable of bending gravity and stabilizing tectonic plates. And when ancient texts speak of gods descending or ascending, it was not religion, it was evacuation. Myths across the world echo the same event, a great departure. Teachers leaving students, warnings ignored, the survivors rebuilding without understanding. and over time, turning knowledge into legend, then religion, then fairy tale. And now we stand at the same threshold they once did, staring at signs we barely understand. Floods, fires, skies glowing red, magnetic storms knocking out satellites, ancient sites reactivating, emitting signals detected by modern instruments. Signals that match patterns carved into stone tens of thousands of years ago. And if you're still watching this, if you feel that pull, that sense that history is not what we were taught, then stay with this story until the end. Because channels like this, echoes of time, exist to uncover what was buried. Share this story, let others hear it, because truth only survives when it is remembered. The most unsettling theory suggests the first civilization predicted not only natural disasters, but humanity's behavior, our cycles of greed, denial, and destruction, and realized that warning us directly would change nothing. So they encoded their knowledge to be rediscovered only when we reached the same level of technological arrogance they once did. Perhaps they are watching, perhaps they are waiting, or perhaps they are gone, leaving behind only echoes. And the final mystery remains unsolved. One last structure detected beneath Antarctica, far larger than any pyramid, emitting rhythmic pulses synchronized with solar activity. No excavation permitted, no explanation offered, only silence and a question that refuses to die. Did they disappear because they failed to save themselves, or because they knew we would need to face the end alone? And if this knowledge resonates with you, if you feel history breathing behind the lies, then subscribe to Echoes of Time, because what comes next may decide whether we repeat the cycle or finally break it.